chat about his career. He's actually had a very expansive career, so he's been in CrossFit since 2011. So we're at CrossFit 505 in Birkengarry, which is in Queensland. We've actually just finished the workout, so it's like sweating, puffing, so you're the real deal here. So, Evan, tell us about your CrossFit career.
I got into it to like start getting fitter for football when I was playing, and then
What did you used to play?
Rugby league.
Rugby league, yeah.
Yeah, so I used to play for the Dolphins, and then once that sort of finished up, I was just super competitive still, and I got a bit fat, so I thought I'd just go along with CrossFit, and I just loved it, and then just went from there.
Who introduced you to CrossFit?
A PT at I went to a Genesis,
Yeah.
and I saw this guy doing handstand push-ups and thrusters.
Yeah.
I was like, that looks intense, so I went over and hit him up, and then started from there, really.
Yeah, awesome. I was looking back at your stats and stuff, and in 2020, in the CrossFit Open, you actually came second in Australia.
Yeah.
So that was your highest finish that I could see on the leaderboard. That was super epic. Like, how did you feel finishing second in Australia back in 2020, which was all like 2 years ago?
Yeah, like it was awesome. It was like, it was definitely like unexpected at the time. Like, I knew I'd trained a lot and I'd worked really hard, but I didn't expect it to quite pan out at that level.
Yeah.
And I got to like qualify for Dubai as well, and strength and depth and a whole heap of comps in Europe, and then COVID happened and I sort of missed out on a lot of those, but it was unreal. It was like a really good experience, and like represented like where I had been, and like it paid off.
Yeah. Last time I actually saw you compete before touring this year was at ACC.
Yeah.
So it's like a video. I was just watching the car before. I actually feel so sorry for you because you were wearing like this light blue. This one's by Fortify, and you're in a Fortify shirt and another blue shirt.
Yeah.
You're in that, man. You're like just off the floor, sweating, trying to answer all the questions that we were asking you.
I do remember that video.
I feel so sorry for you because we were like straight away. We're like, all right. They like grab whoever got like the highest place, and I think you won that heat.
Yeah.
So we had to grab you straight away. And is that hard to do that? Like, I mean, I feel fucked right now, and I've just done a little bit of stuff.
It's more so just like having something like ready to say, and like because your brain's a bit foggy straight away. But it's not. Once you get rolling, it's not too bad. It's normally just questions about how you did or a workout or things like that. So it's not terrible.
So you just recently qualified for Down Under, yes?
Yeah.
Where to come for that? Like
13th, I think. 13th to 14th, yeah.
And this year you competed at Torian, and obviously you've had, like, some people wouldn't know, but you've had quite some big challenges thrown at you this year. Do you want to share anything about that, or?
Oh yeah, like it's just my partner was diagnosed with like gynecological cancer and cervical cancer, and she had the tumours removed, and then 6 months later we went back for a checkup, and we were told that she was all clear, and then we get news that it's stage 4 in the space of 6 months, and that she's got 12 to 18 months to live, and it was sort of right before Torian, so it was a lot taken at the time.
Because I remember watching you at Torian, and I was like, this just doesn't seem like you, and at that time I actually didn't know. And then I spoke to you at the after party, and you told me, I don't know if you remember that because you were pretty drunk.
Yeah, I do remember parts of it.
And you just told me that, and I was like, man, I don't know how you did it. And I remember you mentioning that your wife, you went to Torian because your wife still wanted you to achieve your things. Like,
yeah, like it was a big motivator. She wanted me to still compete. Like it's hard to like, exercising really fast is fairly irrelevant in the grand scheme of things, and it was just hard to get into that. And I don't always cope with stress real great, so it sort of opened up other demons for me, which sort of caused a few issues at the time. But yeah.
But now is she okay, or?
Yeah, like she's probably almost halfway through her treatments, and it's definitely trending in the right way. So hopefully it's going to be all good. So we'll be at 100%. Still piecing together as you go.
for Down Under, how's your training changed since touring? So obviously you finished 25th, I think, at Torian.
Yep.
And then to qualify 13th for Down Under, and only considering what top 5 people from the touring got invites, so that's still pretty good to finish that high out of all the people who registered for the qualifiers and stuff. So how's your training changed in the lead up to that?
I just sort of got refocused. For me, I cleaned myself up again and then got back into training and then focusing on that, and sort of getting rid of those little demons in my life has really just allowed me to focus a bit more on training and work and things like that. So
yeah. Who chose your outfit for touring pro after party?
Oh, that was all me. That was
So
all me.
good.
Yeah, I thought it'd be a little bit of a flair. It was like a friend of mine's suggestion, so I thought.
Was it like a guess tracksuit or
Armani.
Armani. Oh my god, it was so good. Like,
yeah, we had toyed up with the idea. We had a Louis one or a Armani one, but I thought Armani one was a
it
little
was
bit
seriously
nicer.
so cool. When I saw it, I was like, this is like just an original kind of outfit to wear to that event.
I try and be pretty original. I try and be sort of myself as much as I can. So.
So tell us about your affiliate. So obviously you own CrossFit 505, and that's where you said you had 3 other.
Yeah, back when I was like, I think maybe 2013, 14, it was just not enough. Like, I wasn't like a part of the communities. I was just sort of like floating around between them. So I wanted to be like invested and like really care about people's journey and help them, and sort of not just be someone who popped in, said hello, and then left. Do you know what I mean? So it just felt right for me to sort of just invest and go all in on one and sort of build that out from there.
Yeah. And how long have you had this affiliate for now?
2014, so almost 8 years, almost 9 years now. At the end of this year, hopefully it'll be 9 years.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, it's been a while.
What's the hardest thing you reckon about being an affiliate owner and an athlete at the same time?
Probably definitely time management. Because I mean, you want to see everyone else progress, and you put a lot of time and effort into seeing people's progression, like getting a push up or a pull up, or losing 10 kilos. It takes a lot of you, and you just want to make sure that they're getting their priorities first before you then prioritize yourself. So getting that balance right can be the hard part sometimes. So
what's the best thing about having an affiliate?
Oh, definitely the community, for sure. Like, at my lowest lows, like when we went through that with my partner, like they were all there to support me and help me out. And like when we go to Torian or even Down Under, I think there's about 50 of them coming. Do you know what I mean? So it's like really get in there and support and get across the line. Like, it's not just, I don't like to train around the members too much because I don't want it to be about me or about that. I want it to be the focus on them, but then for them to come and watch me and support me, it really means a lot. It really helps.
Yeah, nice. I personally miss about having a affiliate, like just having people who have the same kind of mindset as you that you hang out with. I think once I left, so I'm a teacher now, and there's no one who likes exercise. I think there's like one other guy that I talk to at work, and he's the only person who likes exercise. But I mean, I've started taking a group of kids to CrossFit every Friday, so they will come to CrossFit in town with me and stuff. So I'm trying to slowly get the school into it and stuff.
We have a program we run with a lot of high schools. We use a third party for it. We get like local high schools sort of every fortnight to come out, and they just do like a session, things like that. But it's awesome. Once kids get going with it, they love it.
Oh, and they're so good at everything. They just develop so fast. It's crazy.
Definitely.
Okay. Who are your sponsors?
At the moment, I've got 2. So I've got Fortify here, which massive. The owner of it, April, is one of our members as well, and she's fantastic. I've known her for maybe almost 10 years. Really big part of my life. And Line Mode, performance nutrition, so supplements and all that. So they're really supportive as well.
So that's Dean on the ladies.
Yeah, his company. Yeah, for sure. So they've been awesome. They're a massive part of like helping on my journey as well.
When you have sponsors and stuff, do you have to sign contracts and that too?
Yeah. So I contract with both companies, just to sort of, sometimes I feel like there's like a little bit of, from the athlete's part, a little bit like, they just look at what they get out of it and they don't really think about they need to benefit the company as well. Do you know what I mean? So I don't think they either read the contracts or anything like that. So I think it's good to have that so they can clearly see what their expectations are as well.
Yeah. Now, it used to be with 64 training systems.
Yeah.
Who used to do your programs and stuff.
Yeah.
You said that you do your own now.
Yeah.
What made you decide to change?
More just a time thing. When I look at a program and it's like 3.5 hours of training a day, and I might only have like an hour and a half, it started like stressing me out a little bit to try and squeeze all that in. And if I didn't get it all in, it would just, at night I'd be sitting there trying to sleep and just thinking about, I could have done this or done that. So I found it a little bit easier just to sort of, when I have my allotted time, what I need to work on and do that, and I mean, hopefully it pays off at the end of the day.
Yeah, I've always been curious about when athletes have so obviously there isn't many companies in Australia that offer programming and stuff. Do you guys have to sign contracts with those?
I never have. They've supported me a lot when I was with them, and they were like fantastic.
Yeah.
But yeah, I never had contracts with them. I know some athletes do have contracts with them, but I feel like, I don't know, I don't think there's that much benefit out of signing a contract. Like most athletes aren't getting paid by training programs or anything like that.
Do you reckon with the big name athletes, so let's use say Mallory O'Brien for example, how she's with Matt Fraser.
Yeah.
Do you reckon she would have to sign?
I feel like
contracts
she's
for
bringing a lot of
certain years
benefit.
and stuff?
Maybe not for a set amount of years, but I think she's bringing a lot of money into that group.
Yeah.
I feel like she definitely would be, or at least covering her travel. Like I'd like sponsors and things like that that would cover travel and things like that, or pay wages or things like that. So I mean, it just depends. I assume she would be because her profile's bigger than mine. And I mean, some of my sponsors I get wages for, so I mean, she's definitely more of a bigger profile than mine. So.
Yeah, I always wondered how that works, like with coaches and programming and athletes and stuff, whether or not you guys have to do those kind of things. But I mean, if I was going to do a program, I would just have to pay for it and stuff. So
yeah. So like I've always paid for my programs, but like whenever we'd have training camps in New Zealand, things like that, I'd then have my accommodation. I'd stay with them and get a car, things like that. So there was definitely benefits to it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. What are your plans for? So obviously you got down under.
Yep.
Are you planning on doing touring and stuff next year?
Yeah, I definitely am, and the goal is by Christmas to be all in. So hopefully I can take a step back from here a little bit, and just really put a focus on that and see what the end outcome can be, being sort of like full time and really focusing in on training as best as I can.
What's your main goal for CrossFit still? To make the games?
I'd like to make the games, but probably just do better than last year, I guess.
I think you will.
I hope so, God. Yeah.
I think that with this year that you had leading up to touring this year, I don't think that there's going to be, unless something bad happens between.
Touch wood. Nah, it's hopefully nothing. So, yeah. I mean, that's hopefully the goal.
Yeah. What would you do if you made the games?
I'd definitely celebrate, for sure.
In a Louis Vuitton jumpsuit this time?
Oh, maybe.
Tracksuit?
Maybe if I can organise one in time. I got a really good, my main group of friends don't really do CrossFit. So they come and cheer me on and support me, and they don't give a shit. It's more of the after party, yeah. And that's what they all hang out with me at the after party, and it's like no idea. And I'm like, oh, that's such and such. And they're like, oh, sweet. And they just go introduce themselves because they don't understand sort of it at all. But it's awesome. It's good. It's humbling.
That's what I do. I just go talk to everyone.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, we're all CrossFitters, so it makes it easier to just relate to each other really well.
Yeah, I actually find it really easy to talk to CrossFit people, but then I can't talk to other people at all.
Yeah.
I really struggle to talk to
What do you talk about with normal people?
I know,
I don't know what freen is or anything like that.
Especially people who don't have any interest in health and fitness at all. I struggle to talk to them.
Yeah.
It's hard.
You struggle to make that small talk with anyone.
How old do you say you are? 29.
Yeah.
So you're getting closer to being masters and that?
Getting old, yes.
I'm old. You're not old yet. I'm older. Do you reckon you'll do teams? Would you try and do teams, or do you think that you'll just do individuals?
I've thought about it, but I don't know how much longer my life is in competitive CrossFit, because I don't want to only ever be defined from CrossFit. So I don't know if I'll ever do masters or anything like that. It's more so taking another challenge or something like that. So because I've been doing it for 11 years now, it's just that's why I want to give it a good another year or two and really see what I can do, and then take it focus from there. I thought about teams, and I had an opportunity just before COVID for a team. We had a really good team, but then it just, I don't know. I don't like the idea of like some of the teams we have around here. I think there's a little bit of a grey area on like the distance they travel, and like how eligible they are. Like I really believe that should be like your community, demonstration of how good your programming is and your community and your fitness, and not necessarily just trying to pull in athletes who just live within the radius of where you are.
Yeah,
if that
yeah.
makes sense.
So like trying to create how it used to be like that, hey? Having
Yeah,
people
definitely.
who are always in your CrossFit community.
Yeah, now it's like I think it's maybe like 15 miles or 20 miles, which is
It's better than that.
yeah. Oh, well, that's what I mean. It's a huge, or even that is
gap.
like
It's a large
if someone's living 100
chunk,
miles away from you, they're not probably part of your affiliate. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think there's a little bit of people just take advantage. And I get it. I understand that, but I don't know. I don't really think it's an affiliate cup then if they're not. Like Rich's team, like he recruits them everywhere, but they're in tennis. They're in his like gym every day for the whole time, where they're not just traveling from the Sunshine Coast down to the Gold Coast to pretend to be on the team. So
fair enough. With like all the changes in CrossFit and stuff, have affiliates been impacted by that? Do you reckon?
I think the biggest growth was definitely like 2016 to 18, and then it like really dropped off. CrossFit never really had that much to do. Like I pay my affiliate fee, and then I just never heard from them. So
I
even
just got a Christmas card.
yeah, and the same thing every year. I pay my my $4,000. I get a Christmas card. But even now I don't get much more than a Christmas card, and they reckon there's a lot of changes, which like I don't really see, but it's not why I bought into it. Do you know what I mean? If I wanted that, I would have gotten like a franchise with one of these other companies, which I don't think they have much longer left on a lot of those as well. But I think CrossFit's definitely. I don't think HB does too much really.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
I actually think it's more there for the sport these days than for the community.
Yeah, I don't think they quite understood when the leadership changed. I don't think they understood what they bought, and I think they tried to approach it like most traditional franchises or affiliate programs, and that's just not what it is. Do you know what I mean? Like 15,000 or probably less than that now. Individual business owners, if that makes sense, with their own sort of expression of CrossFit, and they all sort of loosely together under the name CrossFit. It's not just one size fits all. It's not like an F45 or a Fit Stop, which they're so like strangled by what their like doctrine is that it's like wherever you go, you're almost going to get the same thing. But I feel like that's going to limit their business growth in the long term because they can never do anything that suits their environment or their group.
Yeah, fair enough. Alright, what's next?
Yeah, 3 round Tabata. Echo with 4-minute rest.
Oh my god.
Heaps of rest. Really fun. So Will, it's 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off, 8 times. Yep. Then we rest for 4 minutes and we're going to do that 3 times. Yep. The bike does almost all the work for you.
He's lying.
See you, Willie.
Nice meeting you.
He's a good friend of mine. This is probably his 3rd time ever doing CrossFit.
Oh really?
Yeah.
How'd you drag him in?
I think he just wants to get a bit fitter for his trek. He's got a bit of time off.
He's literally leaving in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
That's
So
a bit late.
I don't think he's getting too much out, but I mean, it's good. It's like
At least he's in here.
he just suffers along, so it's like it's nice because everyone's always so busy during the day. So I don't really get to train with people. So even just you guys coming in today, like excited being trained. Do you know what I mean? So, but.
Definitely makes it easier when you got other people to train with.
Yeah, definitely. And he, when I was like going through all my stuff with my partner, like he would like pick me up if I needed picking up or things like that, or if I went a bit too hard, he'd be like, he was always with me, but he'd be like, time to rein it back in again and things like that. So it was good to have him there.
Sweet.
So what we're gonna do is just press green. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Count down. It'll count down from 3.
Who in CrossFit do you idolise? Do you have anyone you idolise in CrossFit?
Probably like Matt O'Keefe, someone like that. Like I really am intrigued by business, people who can like build a business, and he's moved from several different organisations within the like realm of CrossFit, but he's built like really good organisations, really good businesses out of that. So yeah, probably him more than any of the athletes, because I've met a lot of them, and it's just I'm not like a big like. There's some like football players that I like really idolise, and I love them, but yeah, in terms of CrossFit, not so much. It's probably he's the most person that like when I went to Dubai, the only picture I got with someone was him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 100%.
So a lot of people wouldn't know that he used to be Matt Fraser's manager. Now they're just best mates.
Yeah, I think he runs Hard Work Pays Off now, like the company.
Yeah, so he used to have, what was it called?
Redline Apparel was his like clothing company.
And then he had that.
Loud and Live.
Yeah, Loud and Live Sports.
Yeah, and now he just does Hard Work Pays Off.
Yeah. So it's good. Like he seems like he's done so much with his life.
Yeah, that's
How
what I
old
mean.
is he?
Well, he have to be like 40.
I reckon so too, because he definitely looks a lot older than.
But just to be able to get in there, and like, yeah, he was lucky he teed up with Matt probably early on, which helped him rise his profile as well. But just what he's done for the sport, I think, is massive. Anyone who can really like pivot and sort of change the approach and professionalise things, I think is pretty admirable.
Who do you think on the men's side is an up-and-coming athlete?
I don't know. I really like him, that Colton Evans. That little midget guy. I just think he's fantastic. I don't think he'll ever... Yeah, when we were watching him at the Granite Games, I was like, is there a small child on the field? Like, definitely. I think he's just entertaining. Like, he's got that, like, cult following of people that are just die-hard. Like, I don't think he'll ever win, but I just think, like, he's just got a bit of personality, a bit of flair. Because CrossFitters can be very vanilla, very much all the same.
Yeah.
Like, they don't like talking shit about each other or anything like that, so I think it makes it a little bit hard sometimes. But I like him. I think he's got a bit of personality, for sure.
I reckon he's quite funny too.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
He's so, like, he's a country guy. He's like, has a pig farm.
That's what I mean. Like, he's just... CrossFit's not the only thing that defines him, do you know what I mean? So I think that makes a massive difference.
So, what about on the girls' side? Australian girls.
Australian girls? I'm really good friends with Laura Clifton.
Oh, Loz?
Yeah, I think she's fantastic. I think she'll do really well this year, if that's what she wants to do.
She just came second in the online qualifiers for Chasing Bella.
Oh, did she?
Yep.
Yeah, I think she's a beast, and when she really applies herself in pose, I think she'll get back to the dance for sure.
I definitely do. So, like, obviously this year for her was a little bit off year as well, she had so much stuff going on.
Yeah.
But, yeah, like, I reckon she'll definitely... I actually met her years ago when I did a vlog with Tom Lendl and Matt McLeod was there, and she was there.
Yeah.
So before she was even, like, any good at CrossFit, and she was just, like, the most friendliest, chattiest person ever. Super awesome. And then all of a sudden she just got really good.
I remember my first comp I did the Aussie Throwdown in like beginning of 2019, I think, end of 18. And I won the advanced division, but the girl who won the intermediate was Ellie Turner.
Oh yeah.
I was like, oh, this chick's pretty good. And then like 4 years later, she's going to the games. Like, but to see her,
she was at ACC.
Yeah.
And no one even knew who she was.
Yeah.
And I think she came like 9th maybe then.
Yeah.
And then
just
the next year
skyrocketed.
she like made it to the games.
I remember when I first met her, she was like a stick. She was like super lean, super skinny, and now she's like
Really?
jacked. Yeah.
Why didn't that happen to my body?
I just seem to just get fat most of the time.
Jay's like that too. He's like goes from being super lean to either just being heavy.
Yeah.
Like on the weekends, went to the festival. It's like we tracked our food, and he weighed like 93 kilos. And then it was like 99.
Just shoots up. That's my thing. I'll be like really good for a month, and I'll get down to like 91, and I'll have one like not great weekend, not even that bad, and I'll shoot straight back up to 96, 97. It's just like so demoralising.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I struggle to put on weight, muscle mass. I can put on fat, but I can't put on muscle mass.
Yeah, it's just the hard part sometimes. Is that for sure.
Alright, what are your plans for after CrossFit?
After CrossFit, finish my degree and then get into teaching.
So, what kind of teacher are you becoming?
Secondary education, social sciences.
Oh, so I was expecting to say PE or something.
Everyone always does. My partner's a PE teacher and
Yeah.
science and math, but it's just definitely not an interest of mine. Like I love training people, but I've talked about fitness and exercise and all that sort of stuff for 10 years. It's like just a different passion to go down to. Yeah, social sciences would be my
Wow. What do you
major.
think I teach?
Math. Not quite?
I still count my fingers. God, no. Hell no. I can count anything that's on a barbell. I can work up.
Math is always straight away when it's on a bar, and then everything else makes it so much harder.
No, I'm actually an English teacher, but
Oh, really?
I haven't taught it. I've only taught it once, and that was when I was assisting a year 12 class, like
Yep.
another year 12 teacher, because she was struggling. So I helped her teach, but I've only taught PE. I'm not even a
Oh, really?
teacher.
Oh, wow. Is it like small high school or?
Yeah. So I'm in New South Wales. It's
Yeah.
like on the other side of the border from Mildura, so it's classed as very rural.
Yeah.
But I live in Mildura, and it's only like maybe 400 kids or so.
In the whole school?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, I have a pretty cruisy.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. That's pretty good.
Yeah, but they don't like exercise. You'd think farm kids would like
Yeah.
exercise.
No.
Hate it.
Couldn't think of anything worse to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
All they want to do is play games, and it's just like.
Have fun and not
Or
want.
because they want to go outside, but all they want to do is kick the footy backwards and forwards to themselves.
They don't want to learn skills or anything like that?
Learn something? Yeah, not at all.
Yeah, wow.
So.
Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed that. I thought PE maybe, but I was like, nah, it has to be a trick question for sure.
Yeah, no, but I really enjoy it. I like teaching it.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's probably only 10% about physical education, and then the rest in the New South Wales curriculum is about health and professional development and all that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
it's very varied on what I teach.
Yeah.
It's not too bad.
Because I used to work in like schools before I just went full time with this, probably like mid 2010s, working with just like young boys. So that's sort of
Yeah.
where my focus is like boys' schools, football teams, things like that. Like,
Yeah.
because like a lot of guys, like men, had like big impacts on my life, like football coaches and things like that. So I just feel like that's sort of like an area I think I can have a lot of impact on in schools. Really.
Yeah. Any advice you'd like to give to someone up and coming in the sport?
In CrossFit,
Yeah.
just get really like good mobility. I always see people struggle with positions because their flexibility, and then just build like a massive base, like strict pull-ups, strict handstands, strict dips, like huge base before you start progressing. Like I hate when I see people like try to do a butterfly, which is cool, but they can't do a strict pull-up or 5 strict pull-ups. You know what I mean? It's like inevitable that they're going to injure themselves because their body just can't handle that level of intensity. So yeah, great mobility and then work on the foundation of gymnastics.
Yeah.
For sure, I think it'd be a massive benefit, especially with how the sport I think is trending. Like, I don't think it's going to get much stronger. I think it'll be gymnastics will really get massive.
I agree. I reckon it's going to go that way as well. And it seems to be focused on like very high technical skills now too.
Yeah,
Like
I think
super
so too.
challenging, weird stuff that we probably used to do when we were in primary school.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. It shouldn't be as technical or as hard as it is, but because I think it's been for so long to focus on just getting strong and weightlifting. I think it's definitely something that people deprioritise.
Yeah.
Only 2 more.
Alright. Well, thanks for joining me today. Thanks for making the time and stuff.
No, that's
I
okay.
really sprung it on you last minute and stuff, but yeah, like after touring I said that I wanted to catch up with you and stuff because I think the story's pretty interesting.
Yeah, definitely.
And yeah, with Down Under coming up, a little bit of opportunity for those people who do watch my channel to get to know you a bit. So,
Yeah, for sure.
So you're not like a big name that if I like say your name, people are like, it's not like when you say Boy Starting from knows exactly who
Yeah.
he is. But I mean, he does talk a lot, so that's how he knows him.
It probably makes it a bit easier to get to know him. Hey.
I mean, I must admit, he's so easy to talk to because he does talk non-stop. Like, I don't even have to ask questions. He
Just
really
rattles it off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been stuck in a few of those situations where it just never ends. But I suppose that's just how he is, I guess.
Yeah, I'm supposed to go on there to Tottenham for chicken wings tonight because
Yeah.
they call it Wing Wednesdays.
So they just go hard.
Yeah, they go. Supposedly there's this place near North Lakes where you get 2 kilos of wings for $20.
Oh wow.
You get 6 kilos of wings.
Yeah, sure.
And they smash through them on a Wednesday night. So So I'm going to go join him with that tonight.
Sounds like a
See
good
how
time
many
for
chicken
sure.
wings I can eat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool.
So yeah, cool. Yeah,
No
thank
worries.
you.
No
and
worries.
yeah, lovely to chat to you.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you very
Thanks.
much.